Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports, and another Peacemaker / Gen V edition of My Mom's Basement and big news edition of My Mom's Basement. You see him wearing the Mando hoodie because we finally got a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. We're going to break it all down today. It's Robbie Fox and Clem. How we doing, Clem?
Mando! We got to shout out our boy Carl Weathers from the other side.
The legend.
The legend. The absolute legend. Did you wait? So where are we at? I missed the qualifier. Are we special? Very special? What's this episode here?
It's very special. They're all special. Isn't it always special when we're in the basement?
I think it was just perfect. It's perfect for our G-word scale, the Robbie optimistic scale. If every episode is special, Dave would say if every episode is special, nothing's special, right? That would be a pornoism. But in Robbie's world, everything's special because it's awesome, it's great. But I think maybe the Mandalorian trailer, along with a very good Peacemaker episode, I can see we can throw the V word in front of it. And look, there's the spectacular, the Christmas spectacular we can use. There's a lot of different words we quantify.
Extravaganza. It's not an extravaganza today.
Not an extravaganza. The Mando review will be an extravaganza, hopefully. That's what we're hoping for. So very special. I think that fits.
Absolutely. And I wanted to show off right off the bat. Clem got me an amazing housewarming gift. He gave it to me in the office yesterday. Everyone, look at this. Look at this friggin' thing. It's me, Lady Fox, and Faith sitting on the Simpsons couch. How awesome is that?
Yeah, it's I think I told you in the past, and then I've told people on different podcasts that I did this for my family. I think for Christmas 2 years ago, and you had said you wanted to get something Simpsons for the new place. And I was like, all right. And honestly, I was going to go with a Paul McCartney thing. Cause I think at that episode we were talking Paul McCartney. And then I was like, you know what? I could just make one of these little things for Robbie. Guy is on Etsy. He's awesome. If you look him up, if people want to make one, I'll give you his name. I think you could also do this through my buddy did it through ChatGPT. I'm like, oh, that might've been an easier way. This guy though, he's from the Ukraine and I want to support him because he had DM'd me 2 years ago whenever I got the one for my family and was like, hey, I'm in Ukraine. If you could send, he just needed a review just to help his store. And his store, he has 1 billion positive reviews. So I think that's a good way to celebrate any good Simpsons fan right there. I always love Simpsonizing yourself. It
was a huge hit. Bringing it home to Lady Fox. She loved it. She was just like, I can't wait to just stare at that. Like, hell yeah. And then we showed it to Faith and she licked it. I swear. I was like, Faith, it's you. She licked it. I was like, oh, Faith approved as well.
The Faith seal of approval. I was like, honestly, I can see Faith growling at the dog, maybe attacking it. So a lick, that's a win. That's a win.
Yeah. Before we get into the news this week, let's remind everyone about our sponsor, GameTime, one of our favorite sponsors in the world. There's nothing like a crisp fall night at the ballpark, but trying to get there is brutal sometimes. You're stuck in a ticket queue, prices jump at the checkout, you're logged out mid-click. All you want is to be in the stands, beer in hand, yelling with the crowd. Hopefully things are going well for you, Clem. I saw the Mets won last night. Is there still hope in your heart for the Mets right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of what part of Star Wars we're in right now in terms of hope with us. I actually go between the hope is the most dangerous thing for a man and hope is the best thing, like Red versus Andy in Shawshank. We go with those two sides. The hope meter, I guess, is a 6.5 right now. But okay. When the Marlins have nothing to play for and they got eliminated from the playoffs, they become the most dangerous team in the Mets' lives because they have done it to us in the past. They rip our guts out when they're out of the playoffs and we're fighting for a spot. So no Mets fan feels good, but the H word is out there, and that's all you can ask for in life. So you get your tickets at GameTime, watch a ball game take place. It's a beautiful thing.
They make it very easy. They give the advantage back to the fans, and it's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. I'm going to be using GameTime tonight, not for baseball, but I'm going to Nate Bargatze at the Garden. GameTime's the best for that. Comedy, shows, anything you want to go to, GameTime has it. You'll get 100% authentic MLB tickets as well. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code MMB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code MMB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the GameTime app today. And I want to shout out, we have a basement
with Ken Jack on Sunday.
Oh, that's right. This is the week. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we're
Chargers
taking our
Giants.
game time, MMB, Chargers Giants, AJ's first game as well.
Oh,
Got
nice.
great seats for an unbelievable price, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. Pending, I guess, the Giants, because I had these seats for Eagles game last year, and you get to see just how fast and like big these NFL players are. And by the end, I'm like, I don't want to see the Giants just get beat up anymore. It was like tough to watch from that close.
But you got your guy Jackson Dart, who's a friggin' Anakin fan, right? He put the
Yes,
scar on his face and everything. Kind of
Jackson
basement boy
Dart
related.
has the and actually, let me shout this out right now. Thank you for the transition, Bob. I couldn't have done it myself because I'm an idiot that doesn't think like that. We have the shirts in the store already. The chosen one. He's going to bring balance. Don't you wish you had your guy's not even playing, Bob? Your guy
All right, all right.
is on
With
the
the Jaden
sidelines.
slander, let's do
He's
no
in
Jaden
carbonite.
slander. I do hate how much I love that design, though. I was like, God damn, that's sick. If I was a Giants fan, I would be rocking that every day of the week.
And then once Abdul Carter, our first round pick, the number 3 pick, he's the Darth Vader guy. So it's like
Yeah.
we are, I think, treading as close to the Disney waters as we can without the mouse coming and hitting. The mouse has other things to worry about right now legally, it sounds like. But I still don't want to cross, that Death Star anytime soon.
Yeah. And I was going to say, we do have to shout out a basement boy of the week. This guy, Eddie Golda, who I met at the Pup Punk Point Pleasant show. Met him, super nice guy. Talked about listening to the basement. He had been to a couple Pup Punk shows in the past. I love that. He saw Pup Punk and came back for more. He sent us an awesome package to the office. I have currently on my desk a 3-pack of Star Wars Black Series figures from the Jedi Survivor game. It's awesome. It's like Grievous's guard. It's a fucking super battle droid. And he sent you an awesome Mets pendant as well, which is very basement related. Once again, like the Jackson Dart thing, I opened it and I was like, oh, damn, I'm not a Mets fan, but this thing's sick.
I mean, who thought of this? Because for the people listening, it's Mando holding Baby Yo, and then there's a Mets sign. It's like an old school pennant you put on the wall, and it says, "This is the way," with the Mets sign underneath, and then Star Wars. I'm like, oh my, and so I was like, I loved it, right? But then I show AJ this morning, and I think I saw his brain like pop from like overstimulation. I was like, that you could put those two things together. Honestly, dude, I didn't know you could either. We were very excited. So this is going up on the wall. I just had to show it off on the pod first.
Absolutely awesome. And it kind of reminds me of, I guess we could transition to the first news topic, Spaceballs, the flamethrower. We got a Spaceballs picture. They put out a picture from the table read this week for Spaceballs 2, and they wanted it to emulate the first picture from The Force Awakens, which was this black and white photo of the whole cast sitting around this round table. And they had like R2-D2 in a box. In this one, they just had like a trash can in a box. They had a pizza just sitting on a chair. I'm very excited for Spaceballs. I also acknowledge the fact that it could be a disaster, as most legacy sequels wind up being. But we're getting Rick Moranis out of retirement after 30 years. We're getting a 99-year-old Mel Brooks. We're getting Bill and Lewis Pullman in the same movie. So it's like, I want to get excited for this. I don't want to just be nervous about it. I know Spinal Tap 2 just came out. My brother saw it. He said it was good, not great. I think Clemmer saw it, didn't like it, but didn't have as much connection to the original Spinal Tap. So right now, I'm putting my H word out there, and I'm saying I've got hope for the Spaceballs 2. Although you have to do either call it Spaceballs 2, the search for more money, or call it Spaceballs 3, the search for Spaceballs 2, the hunt for more money. Do something wacky. Like, you can't just call it Spaceballs 2. Go full Mel Brooks with it.
Yes, 1,000%. All those kind of, maybe like, I feel like we're getting on a roll comedy wise, and it's just honestly just reboots of the old stuff. I think Naked Gun was the leader in that. I'm hoping we can get a winning streak. Bob, let me tell you about a time, and I know you remember some of it in 20 when comedies just came out all the time. You go to the movies and laugh with your friends. It was wonderful. It was really, really cool. Hopefully we get back to that one day. I'm excited for it. I think I watched Spaceballs, I think, before I'd even seen Star Wars. Just the way I saw
so many people say that too. Like,
really?
So many people have that story. I've heard that so much. Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier to digest, like, oh, I'm going to watch this comedy instead of, oh, I'm going to get into the sci-fi thing that I am a little weirded out about. So that does make some sense, I guess, if you think about it. I always think when it's like a family affair, it's like you bring back the people who care about this project instead of just whoever the new hotshot director is. I feel it's in good hands, and they care about it. It'll be okay. So I'm hoping for the best, bracing for the worst. Honestly, it's one of those things where I'll just ignore if it gets panned and it's absolutely terrible. And if not, we go see it. We have ourselves a nice laugh. So I'm excited for it for sure.
I'm pretty sure Rhea has never seen Star Wars, or has, seen them, but not really remembers them. But she has seen Spaceballs and remembers that. I'm pretty sure I've had a conversation with her in the office about how much she likes Spaceballs, which is very funny.
That's awesome. And speaking of Spaceballs, first of all, if that pizza is a shout out to Pizza the Hut, or if it was just a gag, I don't know either way, but I love it. I don't think this is on the list of stuff to talk about. Obviously, John Candy, Spaceballs.
Yeah.
That John Candy I was going to picture movie. Oh boy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that one. That one's going to tear at the
get the
heartstrings.
tears flowing. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
He was like, people would say, who's your favorite actor when I was a kid? And I would say John Candy. And I don't know if that was a weird thing to say, because he was never like, he did lead movies, but he's not your typical leading actor. But I just loved him. He was just the best. Camp Candy. I think I talked about that in this podcast once. He had a cartoon called Camp Candy where he's a counselor. And it was just like, it was like a kid show. It was so good, man. John Candy was the best. Shout out John Candy.
He was. Yeah. I assume Josh Gad will be playing like the son of Barf in this movie, because Josh Gad was part of the writing team, and he's going to be in the cast as well. Anthony Carrigan is a new cast member. He played Metamorpho in Superman. Keke Palmer is a new cast member. She's hysterical. So there's hope out there. I mean, there's also so much more Star Wars content that they could parody, from the sequels to the prequels to the TV shows to just reboot culture in general. So I do have some faith there.
Yeah,
and we can transition.
The fan, all the discourse that has gone on with Star Wars over the years, the toy, like there's so much with it. That when did Spaceballs come out? I don't even
87.
87. Okay, so yeah, all those different years now since. And funny you mentioned that. I just started This Is Spinal Tap this morning. I finally was like, I got to start this. And I got to say, so far, so great. Like, the thing is, I'm watching it in the background as I do work. And I completely acknowledge I'm missing a ton of good stuff. But I am getting a lot of good stuff. And I will rewatch it. It's one of those where I can tell I can rewatch it a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah. I love Spinal Tap. So friggin' good. And then transitioning from fake Star Wars to real Star Wars, we got the first trailer officially for The Mandalorian and Grogu. It uses a lot of the shots from the leaked D23 trailer, which I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen, but it also features some new shots. We've got some shots of Zeb. We have a ton of shots of the Anzelians, the Babu Fricks, running through, little sewers or on a ship or a speeder with Grogu. There's that awesome shot of the AT-AT falling off the cliff at the end. We've got Sigourney Weaver. We have Rada the Hutt, that jacked Jeremy Allen White gladiator type Hutt, the son of Jabba. So there's a lot of stuff to be excited about. And one thing that excited me was that they gave away nothing in this trailer. There was really no dialogue. There was no hint towards what the story is going to be about. It was just a lot of, this is what it's going to look like. And it looks friggin' great. I was a little torn in two directions when they show the Razor Crest is back, because I love the Razor Crest. But I did think them destroying it was such a moment in the show where it was like, oh shit, we're going to get that back. And they've done that a lot in The Mandalorian, where we destroyed IG-11, got him back, destroyed the Razor Crest, got him back, separated from Grogu, got him back. So it does feel a little bit like you're going back on some stuff that made the show feel heavy, and there were stakes that mattered. But that ship is so cool that I'm kind of here for it.
Did I Mandela affect myself? I felt like we knew the Razor Crest was coming back. Didn't we get
We did. Because I think it was in the D23 trailer, but I still feel weird about it.
I thought it was in the show where they got the specs for it and they were going to rebuild it for him, or someone rebuilt it for him.
I don't think so.
I'll take you. I'm an old man. My brain is shot. But by the way, my kids just actively taught me about being old now. They're like, oh yeah, you're old. Or oh yeah, of course you don't remember. You were around when the dinosaurs were around. Or how did you draw? Is this how you drew on caves when you were a caveman? I'm like, yo, man, I waited till, I guess my dad was probably around this age when I started making fun of him, but I was also 5 years older as well because he had kids younger,
Yeah.
like a lot of people did back then. It's tough, Bob. I hope
That's tough.
if you
Your
ladies
uncle.
decide to have kids. Oh, I'm so happy Dante just took that name, even though I
Yeah.
know it's a name used for old people. But Dante has become the Uncle Barnes
In our world, he's
which
Unc.
is so fucking funny. It's great, but the one thing I walked away from that trailer, there's one word. It's fun. It looks like a fun movie. It's not like, and it's kind of nice where we've escaped the Skywalker saga or rebooting like Solos and beloved characters when they're young, prequeling them. And where it's like, there's no stakes like that, where you have beloved characters. And, everyone loves Mando and Grogu, obviously. Baby Yoda, hence the G word. Strike that from the record. But like, it's just nice to just be like, oh, this is just going to probably be a fun movie. It's not going to probably be great. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be fun.
Come on, it's going to be great.
I
tweeted,
Bob,
give it best picture right now.
It's going to have some cool effects, that's for sure. AJ saw the AT-ATs and goes, those guys are back? I love hearing that. And I do think, like, Babu Frick is going to be, I don't want to say the breakout star. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think it's Babu either. I think it's just Anzelians. They were all credited as Anzelians. So I think it's just people that are his species.
So is Babu the one that says "bad baby, no squeezy," or is that just an Anzelian? I think Babu's coming.
Well,
he
no.
calls him baby.
Well, no. I think that might just be an Anzelian.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. It would be kind of weird if Babu was just always around.
Yeah.
But I think he was the biggest loser for what the sequels became, because I think Babu Frick in a trilogy that was beloved, Disney wouldn't be able to keep those things on the shelf right now, where AJ doesn't even know what they are, because I can just tell the sequel trilogies are going to be tough to get him into. The prequels were tough to get him into. The original he was pretty much into because Darth Vader just grabs you,
Yeah. Here's a question for you. Does Grogu speak by the end of this movie? Does he say his first words? Does he say dada or something at Mando?
He does make that little sound at Sigourney Weaver, and I was like, oh, we're evolving a little bit. We're growing up.
Yeah.
I kind of hope. I just get so scared. You could fuck that up so badly. I still hearing Maggie Simpson speak for the first time fucked me up pretty good. I can't imagine little Grogu doing this. Baby Yoda, I can't stand. It's on the goddamn movie. I hate that they did this. I'm not doing it anymore.
That shot of him swimming was really cool too.
Yeah.
Like the puppetry looks great. There's clearly some practical effects in the trailer. We saw an alien from the cantina, like the same species as that weird looking, almost like Cobra type head alien. There's the really cool shot of the Mandalorian fighting two big mech droids. And a lot of people are criticizing it for looking just like the show. Like people were like, if it's going to be a movie, it should look better than the show. It looks just like the show. I'm kind of like, of course it looks like the show. It's the movie of the show. And we're also a year and a half out at this point. People were criticizing the Superman color grading a year and a half out. It came out, it was all fine. Like we're so far out right now that the CGI definitely isn't finished. The color grading definitely isn't finished. I'm sure it's going to look fine. And the poster looks fucking awesome. It's inspired by the old Flash Gordon, Western type posters. It looks like the original Django poster from like the 40s or 50s. I love that. It looks like, honestly, you could make like a pinball machine out of that design, which is right up my alley.
I like that, the pinball machine line. Also, let's call it what it is. The biggest story of all this about the release is that out of nowhere, Portnoy sees my quote retweet of the trail. I just wrote, needed this because the Giants had just looked like crap on Sunday Night Football and the Mets were dying slowly. And he said, Disney boys need to go to the premiere. I think we might be striking back like the Empire.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We need to be at that premiere in full cosplay. I mean, listen, pitch to Disney right now. What's going to get you more social media views than Dave Portnoy in full cosplay with Baby Yoda on the red carpet? Eating a pizza, maybe? Eating a galaxy far, far away pizza? I don't know. I think that's the fucking social media moment of the weekend for you right there.
I'm with you. The only thing is, the only issue I see, and granted, this is right now, by like in a week, we'll all forget because that's the way the world is going. Dave seems to be locked in on a certain Disney employee right now that he keeps talking about. I would like this all to blow over so that we don't have the mouse being like, yeah, we're not going to invite the guy and his like coworkers to our event. So I think we're going to have to work on that.
He's kind of defending Disney.
Yeah,
in his
I
whole.
guess he was.
We can argue it from a certain point of view.
Again, by this time, whenever the movie comes out next year or whatever it is, there's going to be 18,000 other things. We have to see which way the ping pong balls and where we shuffle out in the end with Disney. And hopefully we are on that red carpet for the premiere. I know I'm going to have to dress up like an absolute idiot. I'm already designed to it. And you know what? If I get to see Mando and Baby Yoda before everyone else, I'll consider that a win. And this was the other thing, though. And this has happened to me a few times, usually with Dave, sometimes with like KFC as well, or Big Cat, mostly Dave. Dave retweets that, and I didn't see that he retweeted me, but I went on my phone, and I just start seeing all these people replying to my tweet being like, I'll never see this movie, not after Pedro Pascal. Disney goes woke. They go, I'm like, what the fuck? Who's replying to this thing that I like? It was this random tweet, and I'm like going up. I'm like so confused, and then I see Dave did. I'm like, oh, it's the little. I am in the monkey troll farm from Superman.
From Superman.
So that's where I was, and I just was like, I could not. I'm at the point now. This is the God's honest truth. I tweet something and I just mute the conversation every single time. There's nothing good that comes out of it, basically.
I know it really. Especially the For You page recently. I feel like they're just trying to make me angry. They're throwing stuff at me that they know I don't like. It's crazy. They also have a shot of Grogu eating like popcorn when he's watching the Gladiator fight or whatever he's watching. It's like red popcorn. It looks like red caramelized popcorn. I guarantee that's going to be available in AMC theaters when this movie comes out.
See, I just was at AMC yesterday. I think it was $10.99 for a large popcorn. I'm going to say $15.45. They throw in that little middle number to like, oh, you know what? At least you're saving a couple.
Oh, it's not 16.
There.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm going to, and it's going to be 16 ounces max.
Because they did the Wicked popcorn for that movie that was green and pink, and we got that. Lady Fox got that, and they don't even give it to you in the bag. It's like in the like big cup of popcorn.
Really?
And, they charge probably the same thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
Speaking of you going to the movies yesterday, you saw One Battle After Another. I have not seen it yet. I'm going to try to see it on Sunday. What is your review of One Battle After Another? Because I can't stop watching people's reviews. Everyone's loving it. Did you love it?
We have to talk about the review, the Barstool review.
Che loved it.
It passed the Che test, which I don't think has ever been done in the history of cinema.
Broke the Che scale, yeah.
His blog was, it is the best movie of the year. And I was like, whoa. It could be the best movie of the year. I don't see enough movies, so I can't make these sweeping statements. I went in, and I'll just give a quick reminder for people. I was excited for the movie when I saw Leo, Paul Thomas Anderson. I also realized that some of the PTA stuff I either have seen a little bit of or never seen, but just know it's not going to be for me. So I was a little worried how this was going to go. And I got to say, the reviews, I was like, oh boy, this is almost too good a news. It's not like Chase said it's The Departed for, this year, this generation. I left Departed with a different, like, holy shit, but it is like you're just on a ride. So first of all, thumbs up.
Okay.
Very good. I think a lot of people have said this. I think Sean Penn is at least going to be nominated, if not be the front runner for supporting actor. Leo's awesome. The girl, I forgot her name. Tiana
Taylor,
yes. She's awesome. Everyone's awesome. Benicio crushes it. He just have a big smile on your face the entire time. The story's good. The things, it's like the little things too. Like, and I'm sure like Ken, Jack, Gooch, and Jeff D. Lowe are in a puddle of their own cum right now. But it's like the cinematography of it all. We went and saw it in the Dolby theater with like the seats.
Oh, nice.
You got if you can go. Spend the extra $5-10, whatever it is. You're shaking. It's, the sound is awesome in this. And the way the music goes, the score, and then just like the music, it's a little James Gunny where you're like,
really?
Probably bigger songs that James Gunn would use, but just like perfect old school songs that fit those scenes. I would still have Boogie Nights above it on my PTA scale, but I guess it's 2. I still have to watch There Will Be Blood, which I would imagine will probably round out the top 3. But I mean,
and Boogie Nights is like one of your all-time favorites.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, absolute must watch. You're in for a ride, basically.
Hell yeah.
There's like a run where there's like a 40-minute run. I'll tell you after you see it that you're gonna be like, I was just like, man, I'm so happy I'm in this movie theater watching this movie right now. Like it was
Hell
just
yeah.
a hell of a run. And again, I would temper my I wouldn't be like, this is a movie that's going to change your life. It was not that for me. It was a really good movie that I had a really good time with. I'll probably watch at least one more time. I'll be interested to see like the rewatchability of it in the future though, because I feel like those are becoming fewer and fewer for me in terms of like I could just rewatch Departed right now, Wolf of Wall Street. I'm just thinking of other Leo movies to be honest with you, but this one is very, very good. Call it great if you want. Ball scale, I guess I'll give it like a 4 out of 5. You know,
Okay.
I'm a pretty tough grader, I think, with that, but
Yeah.
I'd say 4 out of 5 first blush. There is some stuff very on the nose with today's world, and I didn't realize that going in, and it feels even more. I'm very happy I at least had a little bit of like, this might be a little bit like, oh, we're just watching real life kind of play out an extreme version of it. So definitely go see it as soon as you can, whenever you can, like find a mix of like when there's no football on, baseball, whatever your like thing is that you're obsessed with, go carve out 3 hours. You won't regret it.
Biggest screen possible?
Biggest screen possible. Biggest, best sound possible. Biggest screen possible. And if you have any guts, give a standing ovation at the end. No, there was no standing ovation. There were some claps, though. There were some claps.
Did you like this more than Sinners?
No.
Oh, Sinners still your favorite of the year.
Sinners I have higher. Sinners is definitely more rewatchable for me.
Okay, cool.
But
did you see they're putting that out in back in IMAX for Halloween, which is such a good idea?
Ooh, I might take the wife. Is it like Halloween night or just like that?
I think
season?
It's the whole week or the whole weekend. Yeah.
So maybe I'll take the wife there because I really want her to see it, and she's just refusing to, as these stubborn women tend to do. You know what I mean, Bob? Women, am I right? So really,
the old ball and chain.
Yeah, exactly. I had to convince this woman to watch fucking The Office for like weeks. I'm like, come on, you got to try this show, The Office, and she never did. And then she was like the biggest Office fan for like 10 years.
That was me with my sister and my mom. I told that like I watched The Office by myself when I was in high school and was like, oh my God, this is the best show ever. And they were both like, we don't really like the awkward humor. Like we don't like feeling like uncomfortable watching things. And I was like, there is that, but it's not only that. Like Scott's Tots exists, yes,
but most certainly.
There's so many episodes that are just funny, and then now it's one of their favorite shows of all time. Like I got them to both cave eventually, watch the whole series with them, and now that they're throwing out quotes like I am.
Yeah, and it's just one of those shows. Friday Night Lights, I had to get her into, and then she became obsessed with that show as well. So Sinners is one. I'm trying to think what other movies came out that were like, I know Weapons I didn't watch because I'm a scaredy cat. What are the other ones from around then?
Superman. I Caught Stealing up there. I know you haven't seen that yet.
No, and it's not in any theaters near me anymore. I just tried to check that. I'm sure it'll be on digital soon.
Yeah.
I have Sinners 1, One Battle After Another, next. I have this above Superman and Fantastic Four. Again, I watch basically just movies I have to hear like a child. It's comic movies and Star Wars movies. I don't really. I did see another movie too. Oh, Naked Gun. I guess I'd have this higher than Naked Gun just because it's like they're both good, but
it's hard to compare, different. Right?
Yeah, they're so. Leo had people like Leo's character is such a funny guy. It's just I don't know, man. It's a really good movie, and again, if everyone's like me. There's like this one scene with a road that you'll see that you'll be like, I love the way they shot that. And the music is just awesome. It just carries the movie. So yeah, biggest screen, best speakers, biggest thing of popcorn, throw the butter on. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Get your butter. And you know what? You can sneak a water in. I snuck a water in. You can sneak waters in all the time.
Yeah.
Get yourself the soda. Get the tub of soda. But go to pee beforehand. It is a very long movie, and if you miss something, you could be lost. So pee beforehand. I'm giving you guys the cheat sheet to this movie. No post-credit scenes. I'll give you guys the whole rundown there. There's your clever.
Yeah, no Nick Fury afterwards. We're building a team.
That would have been great. If someone ever did that as a twist with Samuel L. Jackson and he just says enough stuff where he can't get sued, oh, that would be incredible.
Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, a movie he might be in, Avengers Doomsday, we got the first leaks. It's so funny. We were talking about them rapping last week. I said, credit to them. No leaks. And the next day it was like, here's the merch that they gave all the crew. And it almost looks like a periodic table, but it's all of the characters that are going to be in the movie. And some of them are a little covered up, but you can assume, like, I think Magneto's kind of covered up, but you could say, okay, he's got a red cloak on. We have like Franklin is in the bottom corner, is like a toddler of it, which is a little weird. But interesting leak, I guess. There are other leaks that show some of the heroes with battle scar makeup on, and I can't tell if they're real or AI. I think they're real, but AI's gotten so good at this point. If you typed in show me blank, I don't even want to spoil who some of them are. Show me, Sam Wilson with a cut above his left eye. I think AI could do that and make it look realistic.
That's true.
There's not a ton to break down because of that, but I think, keep an eye out. Leaks are probably upon us. we're probably in that phase of production.
And I think there's a certain person that we talking about last week with a comic that looks a little different than the old movies potentially, right? He looks more comic accurate. So that would be a big one for me, which
a couple people actually look a little more comic accurate, I think.
So that, I when you said the leaks, I didn't realize this is what you're talking about. I thought there was like something else, like figures or so. I was like, I'm not even going to look it up, but I did see this now.
I know I don't like the real leaks, but when you're showing me like, here's the merch we gave the crew and there's a cartoon version of the character on it, I don't really mind seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
All right, before we get into Peacemaker and Gen V this week, let's remind everyone about our final sponsor of the day, one of our favorites as well, DraftKings. It's your season, your shot. The NFL season's rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Every game is just another chance to cash in, so don't just watch the action, win with it. DraftKings Sportsbooks delivers the unmatched intensity of the NFL right to your fingertips, from the first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting. Every snap is loaded with opportunity. You can be betting on the game this weekend. Maybe you bet on your Giants, you bet on some kind of passing yards for your new guy, Jackson Dart, or hedge your happiness, bet on the Chargers. Then it's a win-win for you.
My buddy hedged his happiness by betting the Marlins today against the Mets. I'm like, hey, whatever you got to do to get through the day.
I think Riggs did it with the Ryder Cup going on right now. He said, which he's Benedict Riggs every year, but he said he bet Europe to just, hedge his happiness.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's cashing based on the tweets I've been reading where I'm like,
I know.
Can you end it? Is a golf tournament over after a day? Could that
Is
happen?
there a mercy rule in golf? Yeah. New customers, we've got an awesome deal just for you. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you can score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. That's worth it alone. Even if you didn't get the $200 in bonus bets, getting $200 off YouTube and YouTube TV NFL Sunday Ticket is absolutely worth it. It's awesome.
I am a big Sunday Ticket guy. I am also someone who, when Feidelberg said the Red Zone channel is like, it's for kids, whatever. Like that season when he said, I was like, you're crazy. And that by the end of the season, I was like, he's 100% right. I've said it. And listen, I'm saying this as a snack fan. It's like just eating candy. Like I love candy, but at some point you have to eat real food. So this is what I do. And this is what I love about YouTube TV and the Sunday Ticket. You can make your own multi-view now.
Oh yeah.
So and then not only
you pick your games.
Yes, and I can even include the Mets sometimes when they're on PIX. So I I'd like to pick my 4 games. One of them could be the Red Zone if you have the Red Zone subscription, and then you have like as a Commies fan, you can watch the Commies no matter where they're playing, which is nice. And I'm obviously in Marble Giants, but I can throw the Giants on. So I like to have 3 or 4 games on along with the Red Zone maybe, and it's just like. You get the story of the game, it's not just Red Zone. That's just me personally. And then obviously people like you and Ken Jack, whose teams are out of town, you need it to be able to watch your teams. And like you said, Sunday Ticket changed my life back in 1995, I believe is when I first got it 30 years ago.
I didn't know it was around for that long.
The Giants were so goddamn bad. I was like, I can't just watch the Giants and Jets every Sunday. I was like, I need to watch
I want to enjoy
else.
watching football.
Yeah, I love football. I am a 13-year-old at this point. I'm like, I need to watch this sport, but I cannot watch these people ruin it for me. And we got DirecTV because of it. And literally that's what we had to do. Now it's on YouTube. It's so much easier.
So your season's heating up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code BASEMENT. That's code BASEMENT to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet, plus over $200 off. NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right, we've got a hell of a Peacemaker episode to talk about now. We've been looking forward to episodes 6 and 8, I guess, the 2 James Gunn directed episodes, for as long as we've heard about them. James Gunn has hyped him up to this extreme level where 6, 7, and 8, he's not letting even his publicist watch. He didn't want spoilers to get out. We knew something big was happening. And we got some big stuff. Not only like one big thing, but we got like kind of a universe reveal and then a massive cameo. So let's go into it piece by piece here. We start with a very funny intro of kids coming over to the top trio trying to take a selfie. It gets a little wonky at the end, though, before the music hits, before Oh Lord by Foxy Shazam hits. Their faces all start melting and warping. And I don't know if that's just James Gunn being like, this universe isn't what it seems, so everyone's face is melting, or if there's more to that. Like, are they going to be melting away for being in this universe for too long? That's kind of a classic multiverse trope. You can't stay in the universe for too long. I don't really know. Maybe like an Into the Spider-Verse, they start glitching. But I thought the intro was funny with it reminded me of the scene where they come up to the Hulk in Endgame. And they're like, we want a picture. And he fucking dabs with them.
I love the thought of superheroes just going to like a chain restaurant after winning a battle. They still have all the goo from the kaiju on them.
Yeah.
And they're just talking about however it went. So I do like that little bit of reality based in it. And then the people taking the selfie. And the face melting was for anyone that was, dabbling in some of the dark arts to, get into certain places. Like, did I take too much there? And when I saw the title was Ignorance is Chris, I was like, all right, I think we're getting our reveal this week. And Bob, you know me, old man, tired, been watching a lot of TV, a lot of bad TV over the years here for the basement. When I saw 35 minutes, I was bummed. And that doesn't happen often, but we're going down every single week, I feel. In terms
was that how short this was? It did feel short to me, but was it 35 minutes?
35 minutes. So it's probably 30 when you take out the credits and everything.
Huh. Weird. I didn't even realize that, because it felt so satisfying as an episode to me.
It felt quick but satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And we have 2 more episodes left. So
I know.
How are we wrapping this up?
Yeah. So then we go to Vigilante's house in the normal universe, our world, and we meet Vigilante's mom, who he really warns the whole squad about. My mom is a bitch, I'm sorry about her in advance. And she's just the sweetest lady of all time when we meet her. She's so kind and just wants to meet his friends. And she's like, he doesn't bring many friends over. His Dungeons and Dragons crew split up and I became a level 40 Warhammer or whatever she says. That really made me laugh. And then she thinks Harcourt's name is Hardcore. She's like, I thought it was Hardcore. And it appears Vigilante told her that Hardcore was his girlfriend who he had to break up with because she was too slutty. And the whole time the mom's like, yeah, you said you were too slutty. And the face on Jennifer Holland, just are you fucking kidding me face was perfect. It was so funny.
I'm happy you brought up the Scott's Tots episode because that was like a little bite-sized version of it.
Oh, so uncomfortable,
Cringe city, dude. I was dying watching that on my couch. I was not having a good time with that. Great work by the mom too. A little bit of Charlie Day's mom, so oblivious. And someone said it would be amazing if at the end of the season they're playing Dungeons and Dragons in his house. All the 11th Street.
The 11th Street gang, yeah, that would be so good. And with the mom there too, the mom's just dominating them all. And then we go into his little hideout, which is very funny. They open it up. He's the guy that's always needed money. He's asking Adebayo to pay for his meal, but he has unlimited money. In Dave's
words, yeah.
I have unlimited money. He busts up all these drug busts. He keeps the drugs. He keeps the money, but he refuses to use it because it's blood money. He's like, I wouldn't use that. It's blood money. And then the shot of Economos, Harcourt, and Ads just throwing stacks of cash in every pocket they could get it in. That really cracked me up. They open the portal and they say, why wouldn't you just put the drugs down the toilet or whatever? And he's like, there's alligators in the sewer. He's like, you think I want them getting friggin' high on their supply, my supply, whatever. But they do open the portal successfully and it blows coke over all of them, which is another funny, you didn't need that wrinkle in this episode, but it's so James Gunny and so funny that the whole episode they're dealing with, you got coke in your hair, by the way. And they go to Argus and you got coke on you, by the way.
It was great. All the coke lines of enough fentanyl is just pallets of fentanyl. And my thing I appreciated most was honestly them just shoving all the money in their pockets. Even hardcore, they just don't give a fuck. That's what you would exactly want to do. So I appreciated that they did it. And Bob, you know this more than I do. I was told basically could this be Killer Croc confirmed?
So I thought about that, and then there's a line later on in the episode that I thought could have been about Killer Croc as well. We're told about someone in a prison that's the bear sized with dragon skin, and I was like, who's bear-sized with scaly skin in the DC universe? Killer Croc. And I don't know if that's exactly who was being referenced there, but there were two moments in this episode where I was like, is that who they're talking about? And he was someone that we've mentioned. Like, if you're going to do the DCU Batman at the same time as the Pattinson Batman, you got to differentiate the two. And Killer Croc could be one of those villains that is brought in for him, where it's bringing Killer Croc and Poison Ivy and put them together and bring in, Mr. Freeze, like go full Batman and Robin with it. I don't know, but you can make it interesting and wacky, and he would align with Clayface, like I think there's a chance Killer Croc is being referenced. I haven't listened to the James Gunn podcast yet, which I have been really enjoying, but maybe he makes some kind of mention of that.
Yeah, I don't know much about Killer Croc, but I love that everyone seems to be like, again, these are the people on Reddit who have been pretty spot on with everything so far.
And he is in the first Suicide Squad movie, which was kind of referenced in Peacemaker by saying, Rick Flag Jr. was with, what's her name, Enchantress. So I don't know. There could be something to that. And then we get Meadows and Frank Grillo thinking together. This scene was so funny when he pops in and Tim Meadows is talking to Rick Flag Sr. He's like, just let me think. He's like, okay. Tim Meadows goes and sits down and goes, He's like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And then he decides he's going to Belle Reve. And this is the first moment where I started going, oh, shit. Are we getting to Baldy in this episode? Is this happening? And I was right.
I that one went completely in my head. I'm like, I don't know if this is one of those things I'm supposed to know or if it's Bloodhaven, Bloodhaven. I was like, all right, we'll just see how
the more famous prisons for sure in the DCU.
And I guess they do mention it in Superman.
Yeah.
That he's going there.
Yep. But before we get to that, we get a scene where they go into the 11th Street kids, go into Earth X. I guess we could just call it Earth X at this point. And Amelia and Keith have this really funny back and forth where Keith catches her and he's like, hey, what are you doing here? I've never seen you wear black, wear pants. And he could tell something's up. It's very similar to the scene he has with our Peacemaker where he mentions the Kardashians and shit. And he's like, why are you being so weird? And she's like, oh, I had to grab this snow globe and I have to put it on my desk. He's like, that's really weird because my mother gave that to Chris on her deathbed. And immediately it's just like, everyone in the closet's like, oh, she's like, yeah, I thought that was strange too. And Economos, when they leave, just start dry heaving. Like the way he starts gagging is so fucking funny to me because that honestly, I related to it a lot. When I get nervous, I just want to throw up. And I was like, I think if I was in Earth X and I was like, I don't know if I'm getting back. I don't know what's going to happen to us here. I think I'd be reacting just like Ginger Cool here.
Bob, that was my exact note. That's one part of the multiverse that I don't think has been tackled. I think if you go and everything seems normal, but there's just enough little upside down, even just seeing the OHS and Cheerios,
yes,
it would fuck you up, man. They would fuck you up. And I mean, obviously the reveal we have later, but a lot of the reveals we have, it would make you just a little off. And I could definitely see myself puking. So I thought that was a great way to tackle that.
And I love the multiverse trope of things are the same, but just a little bit different. So when we're talking about, oh, do you like Halloween or the Beatles? Which one do you think is more influential? I feel like Mick, Paul, John, and Ringo, or Mick, Paul, George, and Ringo are the best. And she's like, Mick. He's like, yeah, Mick Jagger, the singer of the Beatles. The little changes like that, so up my alley. Like, I feel like the actual Beatles movie Yesterday did a good job with little changes like that, where they were like, oh, in this universe, there's no Coca-Cola. And then he's on a plane later on in the episode. He's like, do you guys have Coke? And they're like, what? Like, excuse me? Like, I love jokes like that. And I thought that was really funny. And then they go to Argus and Harcourt getting pulled to the side because she's got Coke all over her. Again, very funny and smart. When you're talking about moving chess pieces, we have to have Harcourt at Argus, but we also have to have her separated to where this universe's Harcourt can come in and confuse everyone's like, oh, wait a minute, what's happening here? Like, we just saw you come in, we saw you go in there. So I thought it was not only like funny, but smart writing.
Yeah, see, the way that they wrote that, I loved it because you're laughing about the cocaine residue still on her. And that's what I think separates a lot of the James Gunn stuff or the better projects that you get in the comics to just like, oh, guy, problem needs to be fixed, throw him in the cell and we'll figure it out from there. this was just, it just keeps a smile on your face, which is the show's done all season, if not, both seasons.
And then Vigilante going to his house. He just has one goal in this universe. He just wants to meet himself. He knows that he'd be best friends with himself. And everything looks pretty much the same. From the outside, his house is almost the same. He goes in, he sees the Cheerios. He sees like a candle that's supposed to have 3 cats. It has 6 cats. He's like, what are 6 cats going to talk about? He sees his mom and dad sitting on the couch. All-time line when he walks past, he's like, my dad's not gay here. Just cracking up. And James Gunn, I did see a clip from the podcast, said the first script for this episode had him walking past that room, past the living room, and he looks, and instead of his mom and his dad, it was Economos making out with his mom. And his line was going to be, Economos is fucking my mom here, which is also so funny. He's like, it was going to be the only time we saw the other universe's Economos. He's like, I just thought that would have been funny, but, whatever. It didn't work out in that. And he walks down to the lair, and everything is still pretty much the same as Key works. I like that all the keys are kind of the same in the multiverse. His room looks pretty much the same. And then he sees himself. He takes his mask off. They do the Spider-Man meme, and they shout out the Spider-Man meme, which Spider-Man is now canon in the DC universe, the same way that Batman is canon in the MCU because of his mention in Eternals, which I kind of like how they go back and forth because it is that way in the comics. There's definitely comics where the other universes are mentioned. And it seems like he's just best friends. It seems like he's the only one in this multiverse that isn't changed whatsoever. And I thought that was a funny joke. Like me and Lady Fox were like, oh, of course he's the same in this universe. That's so funny. Just he's an anchor being almost. Vigilante's just through and through the same guy. But then they reveal Peacemaker's his arch enemy here. And he's part of the Sons of Liberty, who we can pretty much confirm are the good guys in this universe, which is such a cool way to twist that, where it's like he's exactly the same, but he's arch enemies with his best friend. It's so fucking cool. And part of the other shoe dropping in this universe that I didn't expect, with Vigilante.
Yeah, I'm just so happy we got Vigilante. Like, I'm happy he was so, like, just fun and cool, and he's exactly what he's been this entire time. I thought they were gonna go a weird angle with him. Nope. And with that guy, I mean, like, I think he's probably had the biggest drop off in season 2 in terms of what they've used his character, and I think it's probably because they're gonna set up these few episodes. He's gonna be pretty important in them. When he pulls the gun on them too, which is so out of left field for him. He's so aggressive at that one point, but then they're just like, it's basically like watching Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly and Step Brothers.
Yeah,
just, like,
did we just become best friends?
Yeah, exactly. Just such good vibes in that fucking room.
They have the same Pokemon, like the same favorite Pokemon. Yep. That was funny. And then we get this great, like, off the heels of that scene with Lex Luthor in Belle Reve prison. Frank Grillo goes, he sits down in the, plexiglass talk to a prisoner window. And in such a classic Lex Luthor way, we get to see him in the orange jumpsuit. I think we've gotten to see every version of Lex Luthor in either the black and white striped jumpsuit or the orange at some point. And I did the actual meme where I was sitting back watching it and I went, oh my God. And I leaned forward because I was just like, holy shit, we actually got him. And it's not a big finale reveal. We're in episode 6. It's not even a penultimate reveal. Lex Luthor is in the show. And I don't think this was the last we saw of him either, because he has this conversation with Frank Grillo where he's like, so you're going to offer me a way to get out? He's like, no, absolutely not. That's not going to happen. He's supposed to be in there for 260 years or something. And they talk about the incursion in Metropolis. He mentions he's next to 2 cellmates, one being the bear-sized guy with dragon skin, one being a twink with glowing cartoon eyes. Some people are saying, could this be Phosphorus from Creature Commandos? Is he referencing Creature Commandos there? I would not put it past James Gunn to be referencing that, especially with the GI robot theories that are flying around at this point. But just hearing Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor say butt fuck was so funny to me. I was like, going from Superman, which you could take your 4-year-old kid to and they could enjoy that, and Crypto, he's also still got a cane from Crypto's attack. I thought that was funny. To Peacemaker, where it's like Lex Luthor's like, yeah, 2 idiots butt fucking each other next to me in my cell. It was like, holy shit, this rules. But again, I just loved getting Nicholas Hoult back in this role, even in a small scene, getting the score back. He kind of had that Lex Luthor theme as he was walking in, like, that immediately hit my ears. And I was like, oh, I know what's coming here. And seeing Frank Grillo talk to him here again, like, that was all cool. And they do strike a deal to move him to Van Kull, which is, I think, interesting because Belle Reve is in Louisiana. Van Kull is in Metropolis. So you're bringing Lex back to Metropolis, sparking, I don't know if he's going to get out of prison in Peacemaker, if we're going to save that for Man of Tomorrow. Probably save it for Man of Tomorrow. But we are definitely setting up the future of Lex.
And the fact that you're setting up the future of Lex, you're addressing Lex, he's moving on the chessboard in this show is like, oh, why the fuck couldn't Marvel do this with like all their millions of established characters instead of just like, all right, we're going to give you these 3 people. And nothing, when you're playing with your toys, your little action figures, it's fun to play with 2 or 3 of them. But when they're all going, that's when you're fucking cooking. And it's like, boom, Lex Luthor on the board. It was awesome to see. And like you said, it's like they don't have to do this crazy jump from end of Superman to the beginning of Man of Tomorrow. They can take baby steps through this show and any other shows or movies along the way. What a concept, Bob. What a concept.
I know, like, there in DC. It's refreshing to get a connected universe in this way again, because Marvel has done it, in certain shows or projects, they've done it well. But recently, like the Phase 5, 6 or whatever, it just feels a little bit more everyone's on their own island. Even something like, Captain America Brave New World felt a little bit like he was on his own island. I know we got Thunderbolt Ross and we got some things here and there, but the fact that we went from Creature Commandos, where Rick Flag Sr. is one of the main characters, to Superman, where he's still in it, to Peacemaker, where he's in it, and then we're adding Lex as well. Everything is feeling very connected, feels like it flows, feels like it's almost rewarding you for watching all of this stuff where you're like, oh shit, I know him from so-and-so. I know him from so-and-so. And the fact that it's Nicholas Hoult as Lex, it's one of the biggest actors and characters you have on the chessboard. You're grabbing the most prestigious action figure you got off the shelf and throwing him in there, other than the S-Man himself, which I still think there's a chance we get.
1,000%. And I do think it's like easier. James Gunn starting everything new, and he's probably telling everyone, hey, if you're signing up for this, I need you for anything that I ask you for. And I imagine everyone's like, yeah, I'm in, because they're building this.
They're filming at the same time too. He was like, hey, Nicholas Hoult, fucking walk across the street. We're going to film a 2-minute scene with you. Exactly.
So I'm not going to give DC all the credit or shit on Marvel too much. And they're in different phases.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing to say. But I'm just happy that we have this going on in DC right now. At some point, I'm sure DC will become so big and bloated that they'll have to, figure they're going to have their own little downfall. But it's like, as people, I mean, God, Bob, like what, 2 years ago, we're like, is DC ever going to be good? And I look forward to this show more than maybe any show that I have like in my life, this year.
And the bar was so low for DC too. I look back at our reactions to Black Adam and The Flash, and again, I could watch those movies. I don't think they're bad movies. I really don't. I think they're both fine. I think The Flash, again, the Michael Keaton stuff in The Flash is like, it was worth going to the theater to see that alone. But leaving them, we were like, yeah, it was pretty good, right?
They did all right. Yeah,
it wasn't terrible, right? Yeah. They were totally on a curve, and now at this point, the curve's gone. They're acing every test. It's just awesome. Yeah,
it's to the point where like, we have to take you guys off the curve now. We have to grade you like a regular.
We're gonna grade you like everyone else because you're there.
Also, 250 was it 256 years for Lex?
I think so. Yeah,
it was something like that.
260, 265, something like that.
He earned it. Yeah, it was.
He earned it. He was like when he
started a war, tried to start a war.
Yeah, we don't need another incursion. He's like, all right, you don't have to bring that up. Like, come on. Then we get this great scene where Peacemaker goes to Argus. He sees Harcourt. They lock eyes, and he realizes that's his Harcourt. That's not Earth X's Harcourt. So she gets interrogated. She's all clear. She doesn't have any coke in her system. And they have this heart-to-heart where they get super emotional. And again, both of them give such good performances. James Gunn said there's a scene in this episode that makes him tear up every time he watches it. I would imagine it has to be this scene, because that moment where Harcourt's saying, I go to bars and I get into fights just to feel something. And then Cena delivers this line like an Oscar contender when he says, and I still love you. And she just wells up, and, they let that sit for a little bit. They let it sit for a beat where she's about to cry. I thought this was incredible. Among the best acting we've seen this season, I thought, from both of them.
Mrs. Gunn was cooking there. I think that's fair
Cooking.
to say, right? She was
Absolutely cooking.
She was cooking there. By the way, just going to make a quick note. Mrs. Gunn in the shower again. James Gunn,
yeah.
just trying. I mean,
he's flexing on everyone.
He's flexing on everyone. He's also like, put this in the reel for anyone that wants to, put my wife in a little bit of a mature thriller. She can do this too. Like, good Lord.
Yeah, I noted that. I saw that and I was like, oh my God, James Gunn. He's just letting it fly. He's like, fuck it. This is my wife. Check her out.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's like, I can't believe I'm married to someone that looks like this.
Yeah. And then we get the confirmation Lex is getting transferred to Van Cole, and he has a device that can lock down where the portals are going to be opened and whatnot. So he's going to be helping him out with that. The arch enemy shoe drops, and then the actual shoe drops where we see Adebayo walking down the street, and it's coming. At this point, it's all but confirmed. Harcourt is actually, it's like intercutting with her, and she's like, something weird about this universe, Chris. He's like, what? What do you mean? She's like, I've only seen white people here. He's like, come on. Then he grabs the flag.
People of color, she said, I believe.
They're people of color. I haven't seen any people of color. Yeah. He's like, you're crazy. She grabs the flag, and it's perfectly shot where it's, wrinkled. You can't see the stars on it. And he unfolds it, and it's just a swastika. And it's like, oh, fuck. She's like, this is your perfect universe. Cuts to Adebayo walking down the street again. And you see Keith driving home, tires screech, and everyone's pointing at her like, oh my God, there she is, oh my God. And he's like, one of them got out, a black. And it hits you in a way where you're like, oh my God. It's like actually like almost like horror movie scary.
Yeah.
The way he says it, where you're like, oh my God. And then they hit you with almost like a Raiders of the Lost Ark shot to end the episode where she's running away and everyone's running behind her. It's like almost the Deadpool one shot Raiders of the Lost Ark. But hell of an ending to this amazing episode. It was my favorite episode of the season easily.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm like, this is horrifying. And then the way they shot it, I'm like, is this supposed to be kind of funny? Like,
I know it was, yeah.
Last game, which like, I do think Peacemaker just try to like have a little bit of fun with it. It could be, you could make that like the most terrifying thing ever. You could make it like, I guess, kind of funny, even though you'd have to be a sick person to really laugh. Then I was like, yo, our boy Judo Master, he is fucked right now because he is a person of color that is also a little person. So that is a double whammy against him. He's probably just hiding, like, get me the fuck away from these people. So that we kind of knew this was going to be, I didn't know how it was going to reveal. She's like, oh, let me go take a walk. Bad idea.
And one of them got out. What does that mean? Are they all like, are all people of color in a prison, a concentration camp? Like, what's happening in this universe?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Not good. And there's only
Chris's perfect universe. Ignorance is Chris.
There's only one thing that can save us at this point, Bob.
GI Robot.
GI Robot.
We need him at this point. We need him.
What I would listen, I've talked about this with like the Gen V stuff where like the violence is a little much. Just give me just like a good 10 minutes of GI Robot. Just to people up.
Inglorious Bastards level. Yeah.
Yep. And this is the thing. Like, if you didn't watch Creature Commandos, like, that's on you. We watch Creature Commandos. Like you said, we put in the work. I want to see GI Robot go and just like these motherfuckers. And if you guys don't know who GI Robot is, go maybe, I don't know, watch a YouTube about it. Watch 5 minutes. I'm sure they
just
have
watch his episode too. You could watch that singular episode and, look up what is the GI Robot episode. I don't remember which one it is. But he's a robot who just wants to kill Nazis. He's basically the best robot you got.
Just kill Nazis, and we are pro killing Nazis on this podcast.
And that the guy that makes GI Robot, I think the guy that's with him the whole episode, is voiced by Michael Roker. GI Robot voiced by Alan Tudyk, who also voices Gary in Superman. Again, James Gunn loves using the same people. He also said, he's like, yeah, you haven't seen the last of Michael Roker in the DCU. Already, he played his third role in it. He's like, I'm bringing him back. Don't you worry. And he said, as he said, he's like, of course, when I say that, everyone's going to assume that, like, Michael Roker's playing the Flash. He's like, chill out, guys.
We know our limits here.
Yeah. Awesome episode. Very excited for the penultimate next week. And, of course, the finale. The way he's been saying it leads directly into Man of Steel. I don't think we've seen the last of Lex. I think there's still a chance we can get Soups coming down and being like, oh, golly, ooh, that was mean what you said on television about me, sir.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Even maybe could we see David Cornsweet playing the Superman of Earth X? Like, I know in the comics there is like a Nazi Superman. Would that be too much to fucking have a visual of him as a Nazi?
What if he's Batman in this universe?
Oh, that would be so funny. That would be so
Break
fucking
some
funny.
brains here, Bob. Let's
We
break
did
some
say,
brains.
could Batman debut in Peacemaker? It would be insane, but we're at the point where Lex Luthor's in this fucking show. Who knows?
Yeah, it's true.
And then we got another episode of Gen V this week as well. The week-long break after the 3 episodes exhausted us a little was nice. I was happy to watch Gen V. I was like, oh shit, we got a new episode of Gen V. Let's check it out. And I thought this was a pretty good episode as well. Couple reveals, couple teases where we left off knowing that Cypher was the one that delivered Marie. And it was like, ooh, shit, what's going on there? Big Cypher episode where we get him putting together an MMA fight, basically, between Jordan and yeah. And I was kind of wondering, you know, Gen V very much and the boys leans on real life. And I was like, is this leaning on like the fact that the UFC is, you know, sometimes looks that way and looks a little political and they have the president show up? I think it probably was. I think they were probably leaning on that a little bit. But I thought the training scene was cool with Marie where she's trying not to explode the bags of blood, and then Elon, which was, you know, very on the nose of the friggin' goat. And then he's like bringing Julia Fox. So funny.
I like clap for that one.
That was so funny.
Like,
but there was a lot of Yoda references too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. A lot of oh my God, what is this Yoda shit here? And then you get what's her name? The blonde who got thrown up against the wall. Who can mind read, but now her powers are broken.
Kate.
She has broken powers, but she's also like, I can't read Cypher's mind, which starts to make you think like, what's going on there? He doesn't have any Gen V in his blood. You can't read his mind. Lady Fox turned to me right away and was like, is he just his body's just a vessel? Like, is he not really in there? Is he going to be, there's going to be a body at his house or something? And then there's a fucking body at his house. They go there and they do say, he says it's his dad, but I think there's a chance it's him. Like, could he be Godolphin?
Oh, that would make okay.
Because they open the season showing him, right? And there's got to be a reason for that beyond just, oh, we'll show you a quick scene of the OG guy. The guy in the cryo chamber didn't really look like the guy they showed in the first episode, but he also looked all fucked up. I don't know.
So when I saw the burned body, at first I thought it was, I said, what happened to the brother, Kate's boyfriend? Did he explode? Because I thought, I thought he burned them. Like, did he burn?
He did in like the first episode. He kind of did, yeah.
I think he exploded, but I was like, and then I'm like, wait, did he burn? And then I thought it was him. Then he says it was his dad, so I was like, okay, it's probably not the brother. It gave me Anakin on Mustafa vibes, right?
Yeah, it did look like when he's on the operation table, like, and they're doing that, yeah.
So now, Lady Fox, I think, might have cracked the code.
She might be onto something there, where it's like, what if that's him staying alive and his powers, he's able to, like, you know, transfer consciousness into a body and just use it as like a robot body.
And it's a little bit of what's the guy's name from Invincible, who like clones the kid?
Oh,
he's like the little,
I don't remember his name, but
like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And then we get the fight. You get to see they don't want to fight, but he's able to control her in the fight as well. Cypher's able to put his mind into Jordan and like act as her basically. Where I was like, is that like an extension of this power?
Is he ciphering powers? That's what my wife was saying, which I don't know if she meant siphoning powers, but
but maybe.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure that. Also, Bloodbender versus Genderbender had me laughing every single time.
That was funny.
Great tagline.
Yeah. And it had for Jordan, it had like dual stats. It had like 2 heights, 2 weight.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It was really quick. But like the tail of the tape was, it was a funny one. And then while that's going on, is it Emma, right? Is that her name? I'm so bad with
Cricket.
names. Like,
I'm starting to get him back. Cricket is her
too.
Like, superhero name. Emma's her name. Marie, I forgot a bunch of times, even though she's like the main character. It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot to take in. She's going through the tunnel system with her little, like, it looks like one key of a keyboard. And it's almost like, I thought like a little Die Hard inspired, like in terms of going through the vents or whatever. But the scene where she finally gets out through the pipes because the water flushes in, and then she's in the toilet and we see this guy's fucking dick and balls sitting down. I thought this show was going to get gross enough where we were going to see diarrhea like all over her. I was like, oh, please just don't show me shit. I don't want to see shit right now. I don't want to see shit. And thank God she escaped the toilet in time.
I did the like, don't look at the screen, but look at the screen thing where I wasn't looking directly at it because I was like, they're showing shit. I thought there was not a doubt she was going to be covered in shit. And like at some point, I have to take a stand as just like for my taste. I have to take a stand. I
don't want to see shit. I just don't.
I don't want to stop watching the show. But like, if you start getting to the point where you're like making me want to throw up like Economos, I'm gonna like I don't know what to do. So I thank you.
We already saw that scene where the guy like leaned over and his asshole fucking like that's enough. And also you showed us the dick and balls from the most disgusting angle you
the
could
worst
possibly
angle
find.
Possible. Exactly. And you know what? The fact they scared us, that's kind of what they probably wanted to do was just to make us think it. So
true.
Kudos to you guys. You did.
Yeah. I think all of the stuff, it's like basically the Ant-Man kind of stuff that they do with her. It all like really hits for me. Anytime she shrinks and has to do something or, figure something out, like I'm locked in. I'm very much like, oh, this is good. This is going to be good.
Because like it's more mature Ant-Man, which is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
There are things that you would think, oh, what would happen? But this with your clothes or this or the giant boobs. And you're like, oh, like that's a fun way to go about it where they're not going to touch that in Marvel for sure.
No. Yeah. But good episode overall. Like I thought, good, not great. It was fine. Again, like we talked maybe before we started doing this, it's not a show that we want to break down as much as Peacemaker necessarily, but I'm still enjoying it. It's not, it was maybe a slog to get through 3 episodes in a row last week, doing them back to back to back. It's not a slog to watch week to week. I don't think. I'm excited to see where this goes.
No, I want to see what happens next. And again, my wife is like, she is boys Gen V locked in. So it's like,
Lady
we gotta
Fox
watch
too.
this. Yeah. So it's funny. It does, I guess it is with the ladies as well. So that's always a good thing for couples to have actually shows to watch together. Especially again, it took me forever to get this girl to watch the goddamn Office. So I'm happy. Even The Wire too. With The Wire, I could live with. And then she's like, this is my favorite show. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. I don't give you bad shows.
Was there a line in Gen V about The Wire or was it in Peacemaker?
I think it was Gen V because I just saw Peacemaker this morning.
Because didn't they have that line where they were like, "Oh, this is just like that show,
The Wire,
with wires or whatever," and they were like, "The Wire."
They said old cop show, and I was like,
"Oh yeah,
no.
Yeah." That old cop show. That was a funny line.
Came out more than 20 years ago. I was like, "Fuck, it is an old."
And I hit the Rick Dalton on your behalf. I haven't seen The Wire. It's on my list, but I was like, oh, Clem's gonna love that.
I did love it, and then I was like, I actually turned around. I was like, I feel old now. That one hurt. The Wire at its time like got pretty like outdated quick, just technologically, And they do talk about 9/11 because it changes what a lot of the cops have to do because now a lot of
Sopranos.
Yeah, exactly. The feds are now handling terrorism, and that's like season 1 or 2, and it's like shit. This is very dated at this moment, but it's still the greatest TV show of all time by far. You said Cypher. I don't know if we said it last time, but I think we did. He's a fucking problem. And I appreciate we have an absolute problem as a main villain, but this actor rules. He's
great.
Awesome.
He really is great. And it feels almost like this is maybe a weird comparison, but you'll appreciate it, I think, when you have an evil general manager on Raw or SmackDown, like a Vince McMahon. And it's like, he's in charge of everything, but he's putting me in a fucking handicap match against the Big Show and the Undertaker. This isn't fair. Like, he feels like he has that Mr. McMahon evilness in him, which I love.
Yeah, he owns that for sure. I'd say the funny, like the little gross part, but still really funny part of the episode was the fucking the gnome.
Oh yeah, with the Smurf.
Her powers are all messed up, and she just.
I was terrified when she reaches to grab his keys. I thought she was gonna get like, come on.
I thought,
like, oh, please don't.
I thought we were getting the South Park Randy Marsh that you're always in. I was like, so again, they've done their job. They have now made us fear come and poop
and shit within like 20 minutes of each other.
And the last one is. The Bushmaster is just disgusting.
How
do whatever you want to do down low. There's preferences people
She's
have.
Like Medusa, but not up there. Yeah, God, that was gross. That was gross. Yeah. Also, imagine like that actress like getting cast in that, telling your family like, "Oh, I'm gonna be in Gen V." They're like, "That's awesome. Like, what's your superpower?" It's like, we'll talk about it later.
Don't watch it. Just know that I am on the show.
Yeah. All right, that was Peacemaker and Gen V. If you've made it this far in the episode, I would recommend Black Rabbit on Netflix. Really good show. Jason Bateman and Jude Law. And it's kind of like Uncut Gems vibes, I would say, in terms of not total anxiety, but just like watching people dig a hole further and further where you're like, oh my God, you keep making bad decisions. What's happening here?
Oh.
It was an 8-episode binge. It was fun to watch. And I wanted to bring this up because we talked about how there was that commercial with a Clem in it. There was a character named Clem and Andor and whatnot. At one point during that show, they pick up the phone. They're like, put me on the phone with Mr. Clem. I was like, what the fuck? Clem's becoming the most common name in America.
Hey, I guess I'm in on this show now too as well.
That would be a good show to watch with the wife as well. It's like just a really good like drama, very captivating.
So I have The Pit lined up as one of our next ones.
Oh, I know. Everyone's saying I got to watch that too. I heard there's a character in that named Robbie.
Real? Oh, there we go.
I swear, yeah.
Then I had heard which is the new one with Ruffalo, The Task.
Oh, Task. Yeah, I've heard that's great too.
So I don't like Ruffalo. I don't know if I ever talked about. I'm just not a fan of him. Like I don't his work. It's not. I don't even know anything about the person. I'm sure I could hate him.
I go back and forth on him too at some points. There's even some lines in Infinity War where I'm like, he could have done that better, right?
Sometimes I wish we had better Hulk. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I like the Hulk we got in Endgame. I liked him. Sometimes I wish we had a better Hulk, Bruce Banner. I also think we have a great one sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I heard my boy Kyle said this last night that the brother from Ozark. Did you watch it? You watched Ozark, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh. There's this season with his brother from Ozark, and he's the wife's brother. I was like, this guy is fucking awesome actor. And every time he's on screen, I'm like, I love this guy. He is in Task. So it's him and Ruffalo. So I am in for Task just because of that actor. So
and it's the HBO Sunday night show right now.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I was actually thinking it was Sunday night, fall. It's the fall, and I'm like, I feel like I should be watching HBO right now. I thought that the last week too, because that's usually when they had some of the big bangers coming out. So very interesting. Which, by the way, little basement keeping, we do have a Game of Thrones show coming out in a few months now. It's
in one, December.
Right? Yeah, I think so.
Or January
December into January. Yeah, it's right. Yeah.
We've got that coming out. I know you're probably not going to fuck with this, but I'm very excited for the It show that's going to be on Sunday nights.
Way, there was something about it, though, that interested me. I don't know if it was like there was a baseball, there was some sort of reference. I was like,
was it the Shawshank reference?
Might be yes, it was
because they showed a bus that said from Shawshank Prison, and I was like,
Jeff
oh, that's cool. Like,
it out. Yeah,
Stephen King cinematic universe we got going on here.
Which I didn't realize Running Man. I saw the trailer for it before One Battle After Another. I didn't realize that was a Stephen King book.
I know, because I think I might be wrong about this. I'm not like a huge Stephen King head. I think it was one of the books that he wrote along with Shawshank under a different name.
So that's.
I think he wrote like 4 books. I think The Long Walk might have been one of them. Shawshank might have been one of them. Clemmer, I think, is a pretty big Stephen King guy, and he was kind of like explaining it to me.
I wish Stephen King wrote more books like that. Those are very much up my alley. And my favorite Stephen King story, which I still feel like is a bit, but when he said he listened to Mambo number 5 so much, his wife almost left him. It was one of my favorite things. And speaking of Kyle, I just had to shout this out. He had read the theory, which again, shout out to Basement Boys for being so good at reading theories that we called this alternate universe being the Nazi one. So nobody's better. Quick.
I wonder if James Gunn knew people would know it from like the first time we saw background extras. They're going to be like Nazi world.
So shout out to Basement Boys. Nobody is better at taking other people's series and passing them off. We don't even pass them off on them, but we subscribe to them instantly. And we called that from the jump. But Kyle said that the dance that they're doing is kind of the swastika.
They're going like this. I pointed that out to Lady Fox this week. And even the background, like there's little like lights, almost like the neon lights. Some of them almost look like swastikas too. To the point where we're now, the theory's been revealed. I don't think that was an accident. I think that's all little tiny James Gunn being like, you see what I did there? I threw it in there.
It's one of those, your eyes just get opened and you start seeing stuff for sure. So
yeah.
I thought that was very cool.
Even the fact that like, I've never seen you wear pants before. And she has that funny line about like, what do I just wear my panties? And he's like, you're so weird. Like your boyfriend. But it's like, yeah, the women all have to wear dresses in this universe. Like that stuff is good. And then the post-credit scene in Peacemaker, forgot to mention, is just an alternate take of the snow globe scene where she's like, talking about the mom. Yeah, we were so close. She was such a good lady. He's like, she died when he was 2. Yeah.
we talk to him all the time. She's a ghost. She haunts.
Yeah. That was really funny. It's like a fun, having almost alternate takes of scenes as the post-credit scene, almost like a gag reel, which I think is great. It's like a fun way to keep you staying tuned. And they didn't really show much from the next episode. I appreciated that too. The next week on Peacemaker was like 20 seconds long. It was very short and didn't reveal a ton. You know where it's going to go, but they don't want to show too much.
Yeah, I avoid all that now from now on. The previously ons, the next ons, because the previously ons will spoil who's going to potentially be in, and the next ons, usually they just fuck with you. They usually just to break our brains. I hate it.
All right. That was My Mom's Basement for this week. A very special edition of the show, if I do say so myself. And we'll talk to you next week for the Peacemaker penultimate episode.